answer for who want the reason within the happen for Nigeria. Sometimes it's just there's no way you not still know what's going on, but sometimes you just have to just ignore it. Yes, because if you focus on it, just the New Zealand self. If you focus on it, so it's better you just keep pushing forward. All right. So thank you for coming around once again today. Today we don't have anything. What I mean by we don't have anything is that yes. What I mean by we don't have anything is that nothing like slide. Teaching you slide. We have done it before here, but that one was more about the company, discussing some policies in the company and some other things. But today, we want to look into Vatican Garden Estates. Vatican, that's our plan for today. But before proceed, let's pray. Father, we thank you for such a beautiful day you have given to us. You have given us the life, the strength, and the health to be alive in the land of the living. Lord, we bless your name in the name of Jesus. Father, we commit today into your hands, asking that you come and be with us, give us more ideas, more wisdom, and guidance. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Thank you so much. If you're watching this stream right now, welcome to C Plus Profile Limited, otherwise known as your investment house. And this is our business and related masterclass that we have every Friday. Feel free to connect with us or ask us any questions online. We'll get to reply you, and make sure you click the subscription button on the YouTube channel. All right, so today's going to be very, very interactive, very, very interactive as we try. So let's try to, flow. Let's try to communicate, contribute, so we can, at the end of the day, we'll leave here with more ideas. We're talking about discussing potential pain points while marketing our estate. So potential pain point means what people are experiencing on the field, what the people are prospecting to, their challenges, their pain points, what they are telling us. I was in a particular company yesterday, and then they were sharing the same challenge that in a particular market where they went for marketing, the whole neighborhood of that market is complaining that I don't even know what they're like, I don't even know what people are doing. Look at this person, that's how we are scammed. We contribute money to go and buy land. Up to now, I've not heard from them, allocation, blah, 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 all those things. And one of the funny things I had yesterday too was the woman said they told her, it's not because you have office in this place, because she had office in that same line. And they were like, it's not because you have office in this place. The same person that did this, look at her office there. So meaning she was not just a marketer that came to market, she also had an office there. And then they still had that same challenge that they gave her money, and then at the end of the day, they did not get the money. So these are some of the things people get to experience. Now, let me say this. If you sit down one place in your house, or just focus on your phone and online, fine, that's good. You will not understand how to go about all these things. You will not understand the challenges, and then you don't know the solution. Because when there is no challenge, definitely no solution. But when there is a challenge, it means there's a solution. So let us not focus on the challenge. Let's focus on, since there's a challenge, it means there's a solution. And one thing about challenges is that challenges always has a way of pushing us or bringing out new things and good results at the end of the day, if we focus on the solution to that problem. Not just the problem, but the solution. So what I'm saying now is, if you don't go out for marketing, if you don't go out to reach out to people, you will not know what people are complaining about. You will not know why people are not making sales. But because you are there, that's what they say, experience is a good teacher. So because you have gone there, you have been there, so you keep seeing all these things and then know how to go about it, know how to maneuver it. Just like for me, one of my experience I've discovered so far, whenever I go for stock marketing, is this particular issue of when are you people going to give us allocation if we buy? Can I build now? That question. If I buy now, the place is still bushy. So all these questions will now help you to go and gather knowledge and build yourself in how to communicate to them and know how to negotiate the whole thing. I had a particular topic I've treated before. I talked about the act of real estate negotiations, how to negotiate your way in all this kind of, environment. So for instance, now I've had people talk about allocation. So that's one thing I actually push to clients, that if you buy this land now, if you pay for this land, once you are done with your documentation fee, your document fee, you are in for allocation. Nothing like, when it comes to CPLAT actually, we don't do this event or party stuff for allocation. Once you are done, just go and start bidding. That's straight instant allocation. Nothing like waiting for 2 years. Because some companies, what they do is that when they finish selling, because most of them are doing returns. Almost every company does that though. They're doing returns, they get money, and they settle the family that owns the land. So most of them still have some things to do with the government, some settlements. So that's why they keep delaying this whole allocation process until they are done. Because they know that once they start building, the government will come in. So that's why most times it looks as though this whole thing start delaying. So it's not good for a company to apply that kind of principle. It's better you settle the important things to settle, so that people can just start building immediately. When we say, okay, real estate is a good investment plan, put your money there, in 1 year your money will appreciate, blah, blah, blah. That money cannot appreciate until there's development. Yes. So that's why you see so many estates, so many companies and their estates. You buy a particular property for 5 years, 3 years, it's still there. Nothing is going on.
Now, I wanted to ask, what of the situation where they have given application and they are not building, clients are not building?
That one is left for clients then. It's left for clients. That's why the companies also have a strategy on how to motivate clients. Just like us here, we're putting that.
There's this particular estate now, how many land? The company I'm talking about. They just have few land left. I went to the estate. Only 2 people have built. Others have just built on the foundation. And it's affecting.
Now, what is the condition of the estate? You need to have, because there must be roads, accessible roads. There must be other things to access things by the event. If these things are absent.
Now, the client I took to that place wants to see a structure because he wants to start building.
Yes.
The thing,
So getting there and seeing only 2 houses.
Are there roads?
the thing,
waiting for that place to develop.
Yes, develop now. This and the company must provide that development.
let's. One thing I discovered about these things we're saying now, that's the problem we always have with most of these things. You know why? Everybody is waiting for it to develop. Now the question is,
The basic things should okay.
no, when it comes to road, those things are already there. Possibly in this state of technology.
Already there. I think 2 people are built now. Those people, they fly through the air to build.
Okay, last 2 weeks Sunday, I went to one of my church members called me to go child education. So I went to his house. He gave me the address. So I met him at a particular junction. That was around what's the name of this area, safe? After a Fashion Bridge, once you have passed, maybe if you follow through Community Road, once you have passed that bridge, that's the area he's living. So he told me, it was so funny. He told me, come, let's go to my house. He said, don't worry, my brother, I'm living inside the bush. I said, hi. I said, hi. He said, yes. He said, my landlady gave me business. So I said, I don't want to go to anywhere. Let me go and build my own house. So he entered that bush and built his house. As a matter of fact, there's no road yet. He himself did bridge with Taya and Paco, do a very long bridge to his house. And I told him, my brother, if you like in the bush, as far as your house is your house. So what I'm saying is this now, assuming he's waiting for who will start development, who will start doing road, he will not enter there. It starts from one person. So we should learn how to communicate to our client that this thing you are asking, who will do it? Is it not a human being? So now what most companies do is that they just do their gatehouse, because except they have, for instance, now CPLAT now always have a plan for their own house for sale. Like this ones now, we have the foundation already in Enugu phase 1. So the only thing we can do in our own strategy is, let's say for instance now in phase 2, they're already on fencing project now. In phase 2 is to now bring in this project now, start the foundation and start building it. It also motivates other people, let's come and start doing our own. So, but we should learn how to show people the future. Now, one thing I would advise every company to do is this strategy of, for instance, now, yes, I think that's a very good strategy. I'll communicate it to the MD about it. Let's go to it now. You see this layout now, where the company already has the name of the the blocks and all that. I think we should come in with that particular pattern by telling them, okay, the first person to start building, your name will be used for the road. So it makes, yes. So if you're the first person to start building this portion, it means your name is the name of this road because you are the first person. That means you're like the landlord in that area. Nothing can motivate them. Okay, I want my name. Just imagine now you are hearing Mwachuku. Mwachuku is the name of a person. Yes. You're hearing Mwachuku Street. That's because somebody came in first and they used his name to name the street. You're hearing Fashion, all those things. Just because people came in first and started a project when that place was still bushy. So I think we should implement that same strategy so people will be motivated. Let me come and do so I can claim the name of the road and the name of the street. It makes you popular. It makes you have value. So it can help too. So now, we also need to communicate to our client that, see, if let's say all of us here now bought a particular estate, the company just did clearing, and they has given out the allocation, and then I'm like, let me wait till you build before I build. You are telling me, let me wait till you build. Everybody's asking the same question. That place will be there. All this grass will come back again. No development. We should learn this thing of just start building. Forget about other people. The thing is that let's learn to communicate to our clients to know their plans. Do you want to just buy and leave it? Do you want to really buy and build? Because now the challenge is that most of these clients are just buying for investment, just to leave their money there. And secondly, many people that are buying, they don't want to live there. They are probably trying to build maybe a tenant house where people will live. So the thing is that even if you want to live in the apartment or not, build your house or develop it, and then maybe people start living there, give it out for people to start renting. So that's how it is. So we cannot really, the more we wait, the more, that's why CPLAT, there's a law at CPLAT. If you don't develop your plot within 3 years, you sell it back on that most. Company can even buy it from you. You sell it back. So if you want to do land banking or investment or save your money, let it be within 3 years, because many people have this mentality of hoarding land. I'll leave it, let it be bushy, I don't care about it. Till 10 years, I will now come and do something when it's appreciated. No, you will do something. Don't make our land bushy. Don't make it look as if nobody is there, nobody's living there. It's affecting the whole environment. It's affecting people that want to come and invest more. Now, one thing people should also learn to understand is that it's not about client telling you, I want to build immediately. I want to buy so I can build and start living or whatever. The question is, do you have the budget for that? If you want a place, there are still land in Lekki Phase 1. Do you have the money? There are still land in Banana Island. Even there's still land everywhere in the world. The question is, do you have the money? So don't start looking at, I want a place that develop. What's your budget like? I know of a particular property in Ibejuleki, 19 million naira, C of O. It's still bushy. If you buy there, you can even be the first person to build. But it's 19 million naira. That's because of the area. So the thing is that just forget about the whole thing you are saying. Buy. Okay, secondly, I have another client I went to work for. These people are teaching me a lesson. That is Festac Extension. That's the 6th Avenue, then the extension. I went in, there's a place called, I've forgotten the name of that place. I have a place, I went to that place. There's one place I went to. They have one kind of army checkpoint inside the extension, inside. So when I was surprised. I had to trek. Like I was seeing bush. Though that bush were estate, people have already taken it, but nothing is going on there. This man built his house inside. Like you have to pass through bush before you get to his house. Yes, Festac Extension. I was like, wow, this man is mean. No? He's the only person in that area. He just fenced his house and everything. He lived there. I went for that education. So if someone is waiting for, let me wait for other people to come and start building before I build. But somebody will say that, look at So if you want to come and buy in that area, you have to pay more money. But people came there 3 years back and did something. So that's why these two people told me, listen, just build. Don't keep waiting for all these things. Just build. So we need to learn how to communicate, these things to clients, because you as a partner should be able to educate them. Educating them. This thing you are saying is not like this. I have another experience. That same first time extension. That should be 19th road. The place called 19th road. When they used to have market before in that avenue. But no market there again. You understand? So it's better now. Check the batteries. So I have that same experience there. The first time I went to that place, it was just as if my client's house was the only house there. There is joy that you can see. Everything was still bush, and all that. But there. Next time I went there, like the next 2 years, which is this year, I screamed. I saw massive development. Other people are built, like people are living there like normal first track road. I was shocked. So if we keep waiting for who will do, the land will remain there and no value you appreciate. So let's learn to tell these people that yes, so real estate is powerful. It's key. Your money will appreciate, you have more money, your money will increase, but it's not magic. The land will not just remain there and start appreciating. People will make it appreciate by developing the land. And what develops land? Road, building. Everything don't finish. These two things, road. So, and also another thing is that let's learn to educate our clients on this area of what if, let's look at the neighborhood, what if government comes into this area now? For instance, they have an airport they want to build, and because of that, they have to do the road. That's cool. Just like I saw when I went to I was going to the airport. I discovered that on my way to the airport, we are just land. Land, just there, bush, just there. But the road was good. Like the road from the town to that area is good. I was like, why am I not seeing estates in this area? Now I began to tell myself, probably everywhere here is even sold out. Even before the new airport came. But because there's not airport now, it has bring massive development to that area. Because once there is road, that's the main thing. Once there is road, everything just start developing sharp. That place now, from the look of things, the next 1 year now, many people will start building houses and other stuff. So all these things. So now let's go back to these things. What are the things we have discovered? Personally, while we are doing marketing, some of the things people have shared with us that, look at my challenges. So what are the pain points we have discovered? So let's learn how to discuss it and then know how to go about it so we can go back and have good success. So let's share our experiences. Since people have told you, this one, they work. This one, I cannot go. Like, why is it difficult to even say? That's the question. So that's the thing. Well, let me invite my Oga, Bright, to take over from me.
Just as you can speak about, let me just say this, right?
Okay.
The major idea is for all of us to discuss what things we're experiencing in marketing Vatican Garden Estate. When we go out to talk about the land, what do they see? What do they tell us? Do they complain about the title? Do they complain about the land? What do they complain about? What hinders us from marketing Vatican Garden Estate with success? That's what we want to hear from everyone. And the feedback you also get from clients. That's what we want to hear from you.
Okay.
From what I have observed, good morning to everybody. From my own personal experience there in the field, I have experienced that most of the objections I have gotten selling land is on what people call hidden charges. You see, I've met a few people who say, okay, if you are saying your land is 2.5 why all of these other charges? Development, allocation, assignments, and they feel that those other charges are a way of trying to scam them or something. So the problem usually that I experienced in the field is
So, I want to get you. Is it that they're saying that they want those charges to be
yes,
let it be added?
exactly, exactly. That they should, like the person whom I'm still talking to now, although after explaining several times, he has now come to understand why those charges are there. Initially, he was saying that when I told him that the land was on promo and we were selling it for 2 million naira, that he had made his budget around that 2 million naira.
Okay.
So when I now came, because when I came a second time, he was now telling me that, is this all about the land? I said, but there are some other small things you will need to. He said, okay, I should put everything. So when I now listed all those things, like in the case of Enugu, so he was saying that if you buy a piece of land for 2 million and you are paying development fee for 1 million naira, is that not a little bit too much? You know, because if when I listed everything, they came up to about close to 900,000. No, about a million two, about a million two, a million three. Allocation, yes, outside what he was supposed to pay. So it came to about a million two or a million three. So he said, is this one not a little bit too much? So that almost constituted an objection. But after explaining and explaining and explaining, I even took my friend here to go and also explain. So we're beginning to, especially after he called one of his relations at Enugu, because he said he had never been to Enugu, to explain to him the nature of the place. So the person said the place that the estate is quite a good place. So he's now saying that, yeah, there's a very nice place. So probably by this August, he might go to look at the place himself. So, as I said, is on that extra, this thing, the extra charges. And then, as I said before, most people want to know if we have the basic infrastructure, like roads, where they want to start building immediately. And then what about the neighborhood? If I move into the estate with my children, are there schools around, where the children can attend? So those are some of the drawbacks, yes, that I've experienced out there in the field.
So the thing is, this thing I just mentioned, right? Someone else can actually have that same experience. But on our flyer, it's already stated there the proposed infrastructural development, street lights, roads, drainage, all those are there. So anybody who is making inquiries about the development levy should be informed about that. That money is not just for waste, it's not going to our pockets. It is still going to develop the estate.
And all those land and virgin land.
Exactly. So now, as regards the issue of having schools around and having places around that people can have at least moving lifestyle, this is our land currently, the Enugu Phase 2. You are aware of the Army Pension Housing Estates and all those other places that are around our estates. It's all about making them understand that in a few years from now, a few moments from now, a few months from now, development will come to this location. Schools can begin coming in. You understand? So I know that all these are drawbacks, and you might not have all the answers now. You might not have all the answers, because you can give that answer now, and then you get another response that might still shake you. But the idea of this class now is to prepare us with the response. So if anybody is talking about the hidden charges now that is not on our flyer, is not there, it's for you now to educate them about it. Just educate them and give them precise details. So I really want this class to be let it be profound, and let every one of us be exchanging information. So if my answer is still shaking and not really start sitting down well with you, let's drop it and everybody will talk about it together. So, sir, as that answer, does it satisfy your curiosity, or we need some? Okay. Okay.
Why those things should be
Okay. Okay.
I think the explanation is satisfactory.
Okay. Okay.
Let me say something.
All right.
I got a very practical answer to these questions of other fees and development. You know, we don't use the word hidden fees because it's not hidden.
But out there, they think it's hidden.
And so it's not hidden. So you don't tell them that it's hidden. So where it's actually hidden is we are trying to lure you in, and then you subscribe by buying. And we're telling you, okay, Oga, look at your next money to pay. It now becomes manipulative. Exactly. So it now becomes manipulative. At that point, you can't go back because even if you want to go back, they're telling you, okay, you will collect 30% of your money. So it becomes manipulative. It becomes as if we are wizards and witches trying to scam people. Many people do that, and that's not good because they're making people buy things in pens what they didn't plan for. So here is not hidden. No, but we don't include that in the price because it also helps because human being has a way of reasoning. It also helps to think I can't do this. It's too much or it's too expensive. But now, why many companies does not put those development fees there is that they're trying to let you know that this thing, you have to pay it. But for you to have this investment, you must not do it once. That's the concept. So you can just pay for your land. Within the time you are about developing, you must have gathered money again to come and pay up, to come and develop it. Just like what happened to me. A particular time, I went to buy a camera. My normal mindset is my budget. That's the only thing I can afford. It even made me go broke. I carried all my money for the camera. Now, but along the way, I was buying that camera. I discovered that there's something again I need. This camera will help me to work more. Well, one screen. And only that screen is about 100,000 on its own. So if I should include that money to the money I used to buy the camera, it makes the camera more expensive. So, but if somebody was telling me, okay, look at the money you bring, I'll be like, no, I don't have that budget for now. But because I've already gone for the camera already, with time, I'm not planning to buy that same thing again. So now, but one practical way we answer this question is almost everywhere, in every sector. When you buy a car, you go to a car garage, pay 10 million, 30 million, no matter the price, 1.5, 2 million, and carry a car. Do you just carry that car from that car park or car lot and start driving anyhow? You have to pay for that things. Those things were not inclusive in the price car, in the price of the car. Let's say the price of the car is 5 million naira. You just go and pay 5 million naira and then start driving your car in here. If road safety stop you or police stop you, tell them you bought a car, they don't care about that one. What are your documents? You have driver's license, you pay for it. You have insurance, you pay for it. You have most things. If your car is tinted, you have document for it. You have everything about the car is documented. Change of ownership, you document it. You will pay. If your car is yellow or blue, you will pay. Like you change the color of the car, you will pay. So all these things permit Lagos State identity, something, drivers, whatever. All these things are documentations you will pay. But you don't include that in the price of the car. So you don't just say because I bought the car, I'm not going to document my car. I drive the car and go. Let custom catch you. You will pay huge money for not even doing it. So same thing applies here. Even when people are even complaining, our lands that are in the south is even simple. Because if it's here in Lagos, the things you even pay apart from the company documentation is even heavy. Government will come for service charge, land use, this one. Different things. When it comes to land, Lagos State government has many of the things will come and collect money from you. So if even in the east, it's even simple. Just pay for documentation. You are free. You have peace. Here in Lagos, you pay for land use charge. If I show you the charges, like some of these laws, Land Act, something, many of them, people keep paying. Even most of them are their annual payments, yearly payments. You keep paying for land yearly. So that's the thing. That's the concept. So land has documentation. And then those things cost money. For instance, when it comes to survey, because they might tell you, okay, survey is 50,000 naira. When it comes to survey, we'll pay surveyors to come and survey your land. We'll pay them, they'll go and put the coordinates in the government registry. All those things are money. Money moves everything. Everything is just money. The beacon, the measurement they'll be doing, people that will come to measure it will pay. The beacon they will do to put your name on the land or whatever. All those things are money. Cement they will buy. All those things are money. So the company has checked all these things, the logistics involved before they brought out all those things. When it comes to development levy, it's something both the company and the client does together. Now, if it's increasing, it means because of the price of things in the market. Cement is increasing, everything is just increasing. So all these things is what we need to explain to our clients, that it's not about you claiming that you bought a land. These things are other things involved to make sure we have, synergy, to make sure we have good development in this area. You have to document your land. Everything costs money. Now, let me also give you a particular example. When it comes to real estate, number one I say is they make it easy and they make it simple. Just pay this money, we'll give you everything you need. We'll go and do it for you. If you are to buy this land yourself, if you think it's expensive, go and meet the family and buy it yourself. You buy it cheap, but the money you will spend, try documenting that land. The stress involved is not here. The money you will spend is not here. So the company, because they're doing it in a large quantity, acres of land, it becomes simple to achieve. That's the problem. I know people who have paid for CO4 of land, have not received the CO4 for years, but they have paid because they're doing it on their own individually. So that's why we need to explain these things to them. A company will even help you secure these things easily. This is where some companies, mostly in Lagos State, they just sell the land with deed of assignment and survey. You go and do whatever you want to do with your own land. If it's CO4, go and do it. And recently, I even heard that even the government is restricting this CO4 stuff. They are making it difficult because they're discovering the land are going. People are buying. They're trying to protect and restrict the ones they have. So having a CO4 land individual now is difficult. You have to spend money. You have to sort stable and all those things. Another particular land I was talking about in Ibejuleki, the price is 19 million. But looking at it, that land, the normal actual price of that land is about 8 million or even 9 million or 7 million. But what is making the land expensive is CFO. Because I heard that the value of one plot of CFO is about 10 million just to have CFO for one plot. So imagine that kind of thing. Because some people will be asking of why is your land not CFO in the East? Those things are not important in the East. So that's
to now make the answer to that question very concrete for every one of us here is that we now who are managing the estate, we have paid for every other single thing that you as a buyer want to pay for. The whole stress, we've paid for everything. So this is now how we're going to make it concrete, because every one of us here might need an answer. Is there anybody who is coming to say, what are all these other fees for? We are making them know that this estate is managed by a company, and every single document that you need is already paid for. The infrastructure to make the estate habitable is already paid for. So all these are things, that answers that we can now give out to our clients, potential clients. Now, here are two questions that I feel we should address, right? One of them is the title, because you can meet people who are saying, what's power of attorney? And they're saying, why is not C of O? C of O is better than power of attorney. It will now be left to us now to now educate them of the potency of power of attorney and how relevant it is, how authentic it is in the East. So that is one I would like us to address. The second issue I feel we might also have to address is people saying, I'm living in Lagos, what do I need a land in the East for? That's a second problem that I feel many people would have actually encountered. You know, if you remember, like last two classes when we were discussing about that your clients who you said you had to convince, and you started by asking questions. You know, that was an approach that every single person would need to learn. We need to learn how to ask people the questions to make them know why they need to invest in the East. In the end, we cannot convince anybody who does not have any mind to invest in the East. We cannot convince anybody further. But we can put in the effort to make them see reasons why they can invest in that property. So we all now, I would still like you to give a breakdown of that instance that you had with your clients and how you're able to convince that client, how you're able to make client know why he should get a land in the East. I would still like you to give us a breakdown still. Please.
Before I go into that one, I would say that in marketing, there's what we call personal encounter with the product. You know, if I'm working for a company that is producing milk, people would have expected that I would have tasted that milk, before taking it to the market, because they will almost all the time ask you, have you tasted it? But in land, and especially since we are talking about Vatican, we are a little bit incapacitated in the fact that we, the marketers, are here in Lagos, while the properties are in the east. Otherwise, it would have been a very good thing for us to have personal encounter with what we are selling. Because if you have a personal encounter with something, you will be able to answer questions based on your own experience around what you are selling. Now we can't do that, other than the pictures we see and the flyers and all of that. You cannot say authoritatively, this is what it is. So that is one thing. And then to talk about what you say I should talk about, when I met a client, he told me that he was living somewhere at Pakpa Ajawu at Mushin, and that the issue of rent, is becoming a problem to him, and that the landlords were increasing their rents astronomically. So he was looking for a place here in Lagos, where he can build a house so that he can pack into the place. So I wanted to know from him, because the best aspect of marketing is asking questions. You must know the need of a person for you to satisfy it, and if there is no need, you can't sell. So in selling, you must make the person create a need for himself. So I now said, okay, for how long have you been here in Lagos? He told me he has been here for more than 15 years, and he has been doing business for almost that period too. So I now asked him, I said, but for how long do you still hope to stay here in Lagos, especially within the perspective of the prevailing situation? He was not so sure. So I now picked up an opportunity from there to suggest that why not look at the east? You want to go and buy a piece of land here for almost 7 million, because it was about 7 million at that time, when you can get about 2 or 3 pieces of land in the east, and you are stay here, you are not so sure about. Nobody is saying that you cannot stay in the east and then do business here in Lagos. People are doing that. You can still have a business where you have your family, where you have your house. So he began to see reason with what I was telling him, and then we began to discuss about nature. He now told me, he said, with my experience in real estate, where will I suggest that he gets a piece of land? Is it in Asaba or in Enugu? So I also asked him, I said, where do you come from? He said he comes from Anambra. And I gave him the advantages of having land in Asaba and the advantages of having land in Enugu. Enugu, if you just want to reside there, Asaba is almost like a bridge between Benin and the rapidly expanding Onitsha. So I said, so if you want to get land there for commercial purposes, I would suggest Asaba. But if you want a pure residential, it should be Enugu. That was how we now settled for Enugu, because he said he wanted a residential district. So that was how it.
Thank you very much. With that being said, right, it means that we will need basic questions that we can be asking clients to let's now form a structure. Now, we know that all clients cannot have the same needs. We are very sure of that. But we now need to have a structured questions that we can ask these people. So I would like to come from that angle, which is, first of all, how long do you intend on staying in Lagos? Because the truth is, the people that are going to be meeting now are major people from the east. So that question is very, very important. So every single person needs to note this down, that no matter the need for any single client in land investment, the first question is, how long do you intend to stay in Lagos? That's very, very key. Now, another question I feel should also be asked is, how often are you going to be visiting the East? How often? That's another question I feel we should also ask. Then before we now ask ourselves, or ask the client, do you plan to expand your business from Lagos to the east? Do you plan on doing that? These are questions that we can ask this client to draw answers and know how we structure the need for them. So this now is an answer now. These are questions now that every one of us now can ask clients. So if anyone has contribution of other questions we can ask clients before we can know their needs and know how to offer solution, I would like to hear from somebody.
I want to bring you now the family. Because one thing I used to ask is, will your children grow up in Lagos and go back to the east to start their life? That's one thing I used to ask them too. Because I came from east to Lagos. I didn't go from Lagos to east. And I know one of the things that used to take people back, number one, it can be marriage. Then number two, a better job than what they are doing in Lagos currently. So I used to paint that big picture too. That if your family is based in Lagos now, can you buy property in the east? And will your children be able to trace those property back in case anything happen in future? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So that's another question I should ask surrounding the family. That's another very, very important question. All right. So does anyone have any other thing to add based on this particular subject that we're talking about? Questions to ask the client to draw out answers on how we structure the needs.
I think another thing should be, what is your retirement plan? That's one practical plan everybody should have. You know why? Because I was born in Lagos, and then at the point I moved to the east. I stayed in the east for over 10 years before I came back to Lagos. And then, now, these days now, because it's actually funny, these days now, if I look at my parents I knew when they were in Lagos, hustling, doing business, while I was still a small boy, if I look at them now, comfortable in the east, relaxing, I'm not wondering, does it mean you don't want to be in Lagos again, or like, how did it even happen overnight? Because many people definitely would just move to the east and stay. They will not have strength for Lagos Wahala again. They also want to go and stay, because if you go to the east, it looks as if there's one kind of water they pour there. It's peaceful, quiet, unlike Lagos that is trouble, and noise. So now the question will not be to these people. This is an idea we can throw to them. Okay, you are 60 years old, you are still in Lagos doing business, you are 50. Do you have a plan of going back to the east to settle? That's one question. What's the retirement plan? That's number two question. Let's say the country is divided, Biafra comes and you want to go to the east. Well, what's going to happen to you? Do you have, apart from your village, that you have a house, your community, can you just move out a bit to town where you can say, okay, I'm in township? I think you are getting a picture here. Let me give an instance. Some people know this place is their village in Lagos. This one Chukuna is their village. But they're living in Lekki. Like they are still maybe in Ikeja. But here is their community. Because many people don't want to stay in their locality no matter what. They don't want just like a home. Just come back and visit and go back. So apart from that, your village, can you make investment somewhere whereby, let's say you want to just go back to the east, instead of you going to the village every time, when you complain about light, you complain about a still bush, as per a still village, can you come out a bit and buy land? So let's say you are from Anambra State. Can you have a land in Oka? Can you have a land where somebody is still developing more than your village? Let's say it's in Imo State now, maybe you are from Mbano or any MBC. Can you have a land in Owerri area? Are you getting that picture? So these are questions we can ask them to make somebody be like, it's true. Because most of them, their mentality might be like, my father has land in the village, what am I buying land for again? So the thing is that we'll be comfortable staying there. Just like for me now, I'm from Mbisi, I think I'll prefer staying in Owerri if I have a house in Owerri than going to Mbisi every time. Because I prefer Owerri, it makes it easy for me to move out, travel out, go anywhere, because that's the capital of the Imo State. Instead of me going to my village to stay. So these are the questions we can ask. And at the same time, before you wait for your village to develop and become expensive, that will take time. But if you come out to a place that's developing already and buy land, it will not take much time. You can even sell it back and still have more money. So those kind of ideas and questions are things we can give to people in the field. You understand? Mostly even people in Enugu now. There are people in Enugu that their village is still deep. Very, very deep. So the question would be, can you come out a bit and buy land for development or for retirement or for anything you want to do? That's the thing.
Let me add something. Okay, Mr. Celeste, you'd like to say something? Please say something.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So another pain point I want to also say something about is the insecurity in the East. So a lot of people are afraid of going to the East to invest right now because of a lot of killings in the East. You understand? My village, for instance, it was very peaceful. But just recently, all on a sudden, killing started. You understand? So what is the cause of the killings and the rest of them? Just these agitations and rest of them. You understand? So how do you convince a potential client to go and buy land in a place like that, that security is not guaranteed? So it's a whole lot of problem. So sometimes when you meet them, they will tell you that that the East now is not secure, buying property there, until insecurity returns, before you begin to talk about investing in the East. You understand? So, but I have always told them that this insecurity aspect of it will not be forever. That they have a timeline. That all these things are just challenges. And after these challenges, peace will return. Understand? And I want to also suggest, why is it that in the Vatican Garden Estate there is no provision for commercial plots where a client who is maybe prospecting to invest in the school or church or any other potential commercial investment can buy, so that I can service the neighborhood. Anybody investing for residential can also access a school for his children in the same estate. So, and one other observation I made was, I met a client that was interested in buying in Lagos. I tried to ask him why. He said that why should he buy in the East only? Even though he will buy in the East, why won't he buy also in Lagos? I said, for now, this one I am marketing does not have in Lagos. He said, are we ethnic bigots? You understand? That he can invest in Lagos. You understand? As long as we are still in Nigeria. So that there is nothing bad in investing in Lagos, especially in developing areas where the property can appreciate with time. So I said, okay, we will address that, but there is also need to buy in the East. He said that he had bought in the East for some times, and he's looking for another place where he can invest. You understand? So I said, no problem, with time we can address that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Celeste. I really appreciate that, because these things that you mentioned are very, very critical questions. The insecurity, first of all, and also the absence of commercial plots. Those are actually very, very important questions. But as for the insecurity now, that answer you gave about insecurity not being there for a very long time, there's some clients who won't feel convinced by that, especially the ones who want to go and build. Some that will not feel, won't actually feel convinced that this insecurity is still on. What if it lasts for as long as 10 years? How do I want to do it? So, but most times we are guided to give certain answers, and telling the person that the insecurity will not last for long should be good enough. But that kind of person now, if he wants to build immediately, then that is not a place for him to look at, especially if he's considering the insecurity. Also, do you have anything to say? Because he mentioned something about insecurity being one of the issues. Okay.
For me, insecurity will not last forever. I've seen the heat of trouble in my little life. Which experience did I have? I've seen no Shikanko in Aba when it troubled the whole of Aba on that kidnapping. The whole Biafra agitation, something that happened in the East. Then East was hot zone. Yet it doesn't stop people from moving for their business, because people must eat to survive. Even if there is lockdown, people will still move. So what I'm saying is that yes, the only thing that can happen is trying to be quiet. You don't go to where they are doing kidnapping and start building duplex anyhow and start making noise. They'll come and kidnap you. So it's about pausing some things for a while. But it doesn't stop you from doing investment, because that whole trouble will not be there forever. Before you know it, no one government will come, everything will just die and go. So it doesn't stop people from making investments or buying property. Where there will be issue now is where there is war in the whole country. I mean, if you have money, just like Ukraine, who is buying land in Ukraine now? Who is buying land? If there's any real estate company in Ukraine that is even doing development, everybody will pause and look for their life, and run for their life. You understand? So the thing is that depending on what you want to do. Let me give an instance. If I see a land now to buy in Owerri and I have the money, whatever is going on there will not stop me from buying. That's my own personal mindset. Whatever is going on there will not stop me from buying. I'm not going there to live now. Or it's not as if people are running away from there. Even people are running away, will still buy, because maybe tomorrow we will still go back. That's the mindset I have personally. So that particular security point is not something you should drag with the client or convince them. Just tell them your own idea about it, and that will be the end of the routine. It's not left for them to decide. Because one thing you must understand also in this whole stuff is that we are not here to compare or force people into buying into a property, so they will not come and blame you tomorrow. We are trying to show them the way, convince them that look at, but the choice is still left for you to do.
Talking about insecurity. Now, come to look at it critically. Where in the world is there no insecurity? As a matter of fact, you talked about Ukraine. As you speak now, even with the war in Ukraine, Ukraine is the country now that is feeding the rest of the world. Are you hearing me? Grain is coming in from Ukraine now to feed the rest of the world. When we want to talk about marketing, we must always expect that people will put forward objections. It is left for us to be able to overcome those objections for them to buy. Yes. In Nigeria, where we have our focus now, where within Nigeria now is there no security? Even in Lagos where we are now, is there security here? There's no security. If you have a mind to do something, insecurity cannot stop you. That's the way the thing is. So you should not give this lame excuse that because they are kidnapping people people enter into a church in Wada Ondo and kill people there. And people are worshiping in that very church. Insecurity cannot stop us from building houses. Insecurity cannot stop us from buying lands. That is what it is. So we must go ahead and buy land. The East as it is, what we should understand about the East is that in about 5, 6, 7, 10 years to come will be the focal point of people. People are beginning to identify with their roots. Now, what brought people here in Lagos was the issue of urbanization. You know, when they discovered oil and all of that, everybody thought he should come to Lagos, and then that was where things were happening. But at the moment right now, we are not seeing that. In fact, most of the people I've discussed with are fed up being in Lagos. So the attention is going back to the East. And there is nowhere else you can feel comfortable than where you have your ancestors. So if you stay here in Lagos for maybe 10, 15, 20 years, you are thinking now should be that I should begin to go home, at least relocate. Even if I don't want to stay home, I should buy a piece of land there. That's what it is. Insecurity cannot stop somebody. Now, where we went to with her, I went back there. The guy who gave me that referral now told me that we should put a little bit of pressure on that guy because one of his cousins who went to London came back home of recent, went and bought a piece of land somewhere in the east. I need that guy is now more determined than ever that if somebody just went to London now, he's buying a piece of land, then he who is here should go and buy land there. So he said we should put a little bit of pressure on him, he will buy land. So insecurity cannot stop anybody from buying land.
I just got an idea now as I was speaking. Something came to my mind. You know, this is why sometimes these small meetings can help us. I just wish other people can pick up these ideas. When people gather together, there's this chain of ideas that flows. If you stay on your own, you might not get those ideas. I just got something now. Look at what's going on now. Election is coming very, very soon. And we have Obi contesting. P2B from the southeast is on the forefront, contesting to be president. And there's chances of him becoming the president. Let me ask a question. What will happen if P2B becomes president of Nigeria? Remember there is a port they close in the southeast.
Yeah,
What?
it was-
Which port is that? Is it seaport? Which port is that? They close in the southeast. All those east either. So the focus was now more on Lagos. That is why we have all this economy, everybody Lagos. What do you think will happen if Obi enters and becomes president? Being a businessman too, for money chat too.
And again, he has even made mention of revamping Onitsha this thing. I mean, this Port Harcourt seaport.
So what do you think will happen? Do you know if that eventually happens by God's grace? It means there's also this economic move in the southeast. It means many people who are killing themselves in Lagos will say, no, let me go to East and do my business. So that same thing, for instance now, go to Arena Market in Oshodi. It looks as if it's Igbo people that owns the market. But it's Lagos State Market. But Igbo people are the one doing the business there. Go to trade fair. Every market is Igbo people are just there. Because that's their natural business. They are traders. So imagine what will happen when the same thing you are doing in Lagos, and then you are paying expensive rents for your house and everything. You are stressing your life for traffic, and then the same thing you're doing in Lagos, your supplier in China can now send it to you in Onitsha or Sapele. You want to go there and someone never got the last day. So now what will not happen to lands in that area? What will happen to lands in the Buza Asaba, where you can just drive to Sapele? Are you seeing the picture I'm getting now? Exactly. One of the MD I was with yesterday was saying something about Asaba. That he told me that left for him, just like the way now Mr. Dixon have moved to Enugu, he said his own plan is to move to Asaba from Lagos. Because he was telling me after Abuja, the next one is Asaba. What Asaba is becoming now. So that should be the future. Even now, my eyes is even opening. I need to start looking for my own money to buy land in any area or in those areas. Seriously, even we as realtors should start thinking of, let me save up money. If it means you, because I think you even have a leverage. If you have a company that has land in Enugu or mostly, let's say Asaba, Anambra, all those areas. If you have a company that has land there and you are selling properties for them, if you look for a way to see how you can leverage your commission, let them use your commission and secure land for you after you finish it up and pay. Because I'm thinking of that thing now. Look at how, imagine how it's going to be. Because back in those days, it happens, where, for instance, even in our natural village now, where maybe due to the nature of our village, how deep it was and all that, we have to go far to a particular market to sell and buy. But remember, as the days is going now, those same things you used to go to far village to sell and buy is now happening in front of your compound. Same thing will happen in Nigeria. Because many years back, it was as though it was only Lagos you could come to do the business. But now, everything is, because even business is changing. We have more of website now. We have more of WhatsApp now. Whatever you are, just order, we'll send it to you. Logistic will take it to you. So those things are changing with time. So that same thing will happen to people that will be like, let me just go and relax and do my business in the East. So that's one thing you should consider too. Because most of these people are marketed to believe in the Obi movement. They believe in the Biafra movement. Even apart from Biafra, they believe in Obi. They have two options now. Either Biafra, do you have land in the east? If it's Obi, do you have land in the east? Because these things will bring development in the southeast. Another thing I had yesterday again that I was like, wow, this is very, very true. Is, remember the second Niger bridge? I saw it is almost done. So imagine second Niger bridge. I think that bridge. You have to come out at Obosi Junction if you are going to Imo State. That bridge also will cost another. So that bridge is also bringing another development again in those areas, because even that bridge links to Asaba too. So it means if you are complaining of, oh, should I be living in Asaba and not be driving through Onitsha bridge, you can drive to that second bridge. And remember, once second bridge is there now, you less the traffic in the Onitsha Ridge bridge. Because people going to Imo State will just follow that one. So you can now drive freely. So these things are things that we can share to, because many people are dumb about it. They don't know about it. So that's why you as a consultant should look out for, why will I tell this? What will I tell this man that will convince him? One of the MDs was telling me yesterday, a particular man came to ask for property in Anambra State. The woman was telling him, our property in Anambra State is not really that good to go for now. Buy Asaba. The woman said, what am I doing in Asaba? The woman convinced him and showed him reasons for. After seeing the reasons, because his own plan was Anambra. But when they not give him reasons for Asaba, he bought 10 plots. So you need to gather all these reasons. No, why should I tell this man to buy from here? Many people are like, why will I buy from Asaba? I'm not living in Asaba. Why buy from Enugu? I'm not living in Enugu. But all these things are beyond that. There are other reasons why you can buy. Either investment or either some other things you can do there as business. Very, very important.
But there's another point too now. We give you the management at the management level.
Yes.
We don't have any estate now at Asaba.
Space to see so that.
Yes, now.
So that.
Yes, now.
He's remaining like, that's not, we're asking for that.
What remaining one plot like this?
He's facing coming.
Well, Mr. Dixon will be in Lagos next week.
Now one plot, is it not finished?
I don't know.
You don't come and be asking. We had a discussion about that.
Because if it's sold out, we need to announce it that it's sold out.
So that
People understand.
and somebody actually wanted it, and I collected subscription from it. We are still working on the person. And if the person buys, it means Asaba finished.
I'll contact the MD to know about that one piece of money.
I discussed with
Yeah,
him.
because he also asked for some from some days ago.
Him.
Yes.
He's looking out for what?
Another place.
Of course. That is not a problem. Phase 3 can still come out. It's not a problem. Wow. If that thing is remaining one plot, that is also a great marketing system. Only one plot left. As in that thing, I will go and I'll call the MD and confirm. Once one plot left, I'm going to post it. Once you see that you have about 60 plots, 100 plots, and there's one plot left, it means that place is hot cake. Someone will consider that.
There were remaining three. My brother got one. 100% got one. There's many years that we have.
So imagine one plot left. Man, this is competition now. Seriously, one plot left. That's amazing. So very soon I will announce, I think one of the next move is Abakaliki. I think that's the one that was on the pipeline. Oh, it has been on the pipeline since, but this whole security stuff you talk about made the MD to pause that movement. Well, everything about it has been, assuming that all this thing was not happening, would have started over since earlier this year. Everything about it was already settled just to start.
Most of the people I'm talking to are talking about Asaba.
No, so I definitely will have phase 3 possibly.
So there's another question that he asked.
Okay.
Right? He said, why does the person garden estate not do commercial plots so we can build churches and all of that?
Yeah, I asked them this question a long time ago, and then he told me that our focus for now is residential estates. And I asked him why. He said because there is more stress trying to bring in commercial. Because if you're bringing in commercial, there's no security. You have to employ security. You have to put in more security. You know, because let's say Vatican estate in Guna has hotel. It means anybody can enter the estate. Anybody can enter there. You understand? Even schools, everybody can enter there. So what most estates does is that they have mostly the front areas as their commercial, and then inside as residential. So what happens is that once you enter the front commercial, there's another gate that will close residential. So anybody can walk into the commercial area, they walk into the estate, but before you enter the next gate, they must know where you are going to know if you are a resident in that area. So, but Mr. Dixon said his own focus is just more on residential because he doesn't want commercial. He wants the estate to be very, very secured and very, very private. Now, when it comes to, when you mention something about school, remember that there are business.
There's no residential area.
Remember, we have so many businessmen, okay? There is no neighborhood that somebody will not think about school. The particular estate you're marketing for may not have that school store, but other estates may have it. But from other estates, other individuals, just like Enugu Phase 1 now, I saw Plaza the last time I went there, shopping plaza, Enugu Phase 1, the road, where I could just a stone throw to our estate, there's already plaza there. People already have shops there. So the same thing, I think Cincinnati City should have a school. So it means if there's no school now, because that area is like a new world, if there's no school within that area, anybody that opens a good school has made it. So now the thing is that you see, if you are moving to a new area, you must learn to pay a sacrifice.
No, but there are certain considerations that you want to take note of.
That's what I'm saying now.
Where I'm going to, will there be schools? Those are the things.
The thing is, you cannot be able to solve every problem at once. If I'm a resident now and I'm going to, let's say, Enugu Phase 2 to start living by next year, naturally I know that there's no school there yet. Why? I came in there when it was cheap. It's not yet developed. So I have to sacrifice to go out a little bit for school. But the thing is that with time, school will still come in. I don't know if you're getting the point. Because what we are selling is not an already made estate. If it's already made, you pay 20 million naira for it.
Yeah, we're not saying that the school should be within the estate. How far is the school from the estate? That's what we're
Well, me, I don't know.
The thing is that when I was growing up, why I'm saying this is because when I was growing up, I lived with my senior sister. They were staying in Madison somewhere. So I had attended school up to about primary 2. Then, unfortunately, the husband was not transferred to somewhere where there were no schools. It became difficult for me to live with them. So they had to give me out to somebody, a relation, And I know the problems I experienced while they were away and I was living somewhere with them. So if I want to go to somewhere, the first thing I would think about is schools for my children. How far is this school from where I am?
Now, looking at it for a place like the Enugu Phase 1 now, the
schools within the estate, think about schools around the estate.
Definitely the estate.
Are there estates around that Enugu Phase 2? What estates around that Enugu Phase 2?
Enugu Phase 2 is still coming up in the neighborhood. That's the thing. Enugu Phase 2 is still coming up. You should be talking about houses. It's always about school.
No, I'm asking. Because all those other estates, we don't also be focused on residential.
Let me give the simple answer. Before you are done with your building, there's another development you must have seen. Because now in Enugu Phase 2, the only thing you get to see is a village, some village people living there, and the market. Before you enter the main Enugu town. If you're coming from the town, you pass through a particular popular market. From the market, you pass to an NPC depot that is there on the road too, and then you go to the village, and then you go to the land. That's Enugu Phase 2 for you.
Okay,
But
there are some villagers.
Yes, not too far, just within that area. Now the question now will be, how long will it take you to build your house? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months? Is it 1 year? Before you are done, that's what I'm saying. Development is not what you wait for; it's what you start.
And once there are villagers living there, all these things we are discussing.
Now, the school now, for example, now in Enugu Phase 2, now there is school. What's the name of this school, Seth? What's the name of this school? Yes, now.
Because most of the time,
Yes.
they use with their mouth.
You see, this one now comes to the point. You see, excuse me. This one now comes to the point I was trying to make earlier on, that we are incapacitated being here in Lagos.
Mhm.
You are speaking authoritatively because you have seen things on the ground.
Mhm.
You know. So if I go to the market now and somebody will ask me that question, that have you been to the place? Are there schools in the place? If I want to build now, can my children readily go to school? What would I tell them?
So I'm giving you the answer now. I'm giving you the answer already.
That is yes.
Now let me tell you, you don't focus on your.
I'm saying that he is saying it because he has.
Sir, see, you don't
That's why he's telling us.
you don't focus on your weaknesses by being incapacitated. Solve it by going there. If you want to have more conviction, travel there and see it. But if you want to depend on my own, I'm telling you what I'm saying. You see, don't let people ask you stupid questions and drive you off balance. What we are doing,
Another thing also is, since you've been there and you've seen
I'm coming. I know where I'm going to.
and you
Wait,
see,
if he,
Hold on.
now that he is telling us,
Hold on.
did you know that there was people there?
that's what I'm
So if
saying.
people had met you in the field then, would you be able to
So you-
As of now, we are talking
You must have
about
asked. Now hold on.
Even some clients who want to rent the house, the first thing some of them will ask is there any school around?
Now, let me. This one we're talking about building now. Land, empty land, estate, in the bush. I love that word. In the bush. Now, remember what we are doing here. See, anybody buying land from the bush is an investor. You're an investor. Because you are buying from a place that is not convenient for you yet. But because of the money, it's affordable for you, you buy. If you want a developer, go to Banana Island and buy land. That place, even any school you want at all is there. So what I'm saying is that you need to learn to communicate to them. Every question is not yes and no. I'm saying a land of 2.5 million naira for you, and you're asking me if there is school or hospital there. Who wants to build it there? Is it not you that will come and build it? What do you expect?
I'm saying that there must be provisions for that.
Provision for a kind of.
I'm not the one to provide it.
Success. Listen. Wait, there's something.
Before you go,
there's
sir.
something that you are saying that does not make sense to me.
Okay.
Now, it's not every estate that will be like an island.
So I'm going somewhere.
If I am going into an estate, I should understand that there are certain basic things.
Yes. When you check from the neighborhood, you have already seen them. Now, in Enugu Phase 2, for instance, now, there's a university there, private university, Critas or something, Caritas University is there. Adoration Camp is not far from there, it's still there. One other medical something is there. And definitely, because people are in the community, like we said, there's already government school or something, there must be school anyway. But what I'm saying now is this. When you are asking me a question of, is there a school within the estate or inside the estate, that's not it. Doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice a little bit by driving out. First, let's say for instance, if I'm living in Enugu Phase 2 now, I want to go and live in there. Naturally, I know that maybe for the first year or the first 2 years, I may not have everything I need inside this estate because I'm just the first tenant or the second tenant. It's with time. All these things I'm saying, safe. Even naturally in Lagos, I've experienced it in Lagos here now. With time, because for instance now, I might have to drive to town or to market to get my things. If it's school, go to put my children in the school, I'm going to pick them up. But with time, everything will change. So you cannot tell them that there is school in the estate or within the estate or it's not far. You have to tell them what it looks like. Because you're coming in as an investor. It takes time before everything that comes in. For instance now, I was even living in Divine Estate before, in Amon Odofiye. Before, you have to trek to the estate gate before you buy anything you want to buy. No matter what. That's why they have shops. But now, with time, they have interlocked every road. People are standing in front of their house now. Like, there are even more things. You can withdraw money. Unlike before, you have to go to the estate gate. This is how development comes in. So you need to explain that because most people are asking one kind of silly questions. As if they're the one bringing in this whole thing.
So let's imagine the likes of Dangote that had to buy the Bekuleki when nothing was happening there, and the likes of Otedola that have all the estates. If they were thinking the way we are thinking, they will not be there.
That is a different thing. You see,
It's not a different thing, sir. Sir, it's not a different thing. Sir. This is the same
There's
thing.
someone else that have
This is the same thing, sir. This is the same thing we should communicate. Now, I'm going somewhere. I like what you said now. You see, let's not have our clients as though they are doing us a favor from buying from us. Let's educate them to understand what they are going for. Now, if you say something about $2 buying properties because he knows what he wants to do, a client should also know that same thing. Then I'm going to this place because I believe here is a good place and I want to live here. And definitely in the future it will develop. So I may not have everything I'm looking for. Like for instance now, imagine you start asking me, what about electricity? Is it there? Am I government to answer that question for now?
You see, there's something called fact finding.
Okay.
And we don't know to what extent a toddler must have gone to decide that he will buy one.
Okay.
As a marketer, you must look for facts. And which is, I think, the essence of this class we're having now. If I don't know about what I am selling, there's no way I can sell it effectively.
Very true.
That's what it is. So when we sit here and we are putting forward certain possible things we will meet there in the field, it's not as if the clients out there are stupid. They're not. There are people who want to know things before they indulge in them. That's what we are saying.
That is why we have
Normally in every setting, especially in an estate, there should be a planning concept that should incorporate all these things. Place for residential, place for commercial, place for worship, all these things should
now remember for instance.
Let me come in. I think
Okay.
one of the reasons why there is no commercial for these ones, I think, is because they are not, the number of plots are not much. These are in phase
Sometimes 60.
People currently didn't meet phase one. Phase one has commercial plots. Phase one is more than 60 plots. So it has commercial. And we're just like success explained then, they marked it out so that the gate will be different from the main.
Position.
We have close to 10 plots or even more there.
For commercial.
We have those that are planned to build pharmacies there.
And which is what we want
Those
to
that
do.
are planned to
Which is what we wanted to
something
do.
like
What you want to
phase
know.
one had, you people currently here didn't meet phase one. There's one woman said that one client that walked in here, one advanced, two on Monday. She's a widow. She bought 2 blocks, one commercial and one corner piece.
So now this is why.
Retired now, she had moved to Warren. So she has completed phase one.
So this is why.
This one is less than 40 plots.
Yeah.
So it's about 40.
Mhm.
But for clients, because I think the company has 2 or so and church or whatever. So and in all of them, so I think there's
Church.
Yes.
There is church plot in all of them.
Though it's the winners. So but for this, it's only this one. But this one too is more. But I really don't know gas plan about it. That's Enugu phase 2. But
No,
for Enugu
where-
phase 1 and Asaba phase 2, I think it's because it's not much. That's
Okay.
like a
That's fine. So where I was going to, where I was going
the
to.
clients that bought here, 4 plots. The man plans to do pharmacy and hospital because the man resides in America.
Mhm.
So I have seen something like that, or maybe doing something like that. That's his plan. In fact, he even thought the place was developed
If
because the consultant there explained that, but he wanted to have started already.
okay, he can go and start now. Let's reach out to him. You can go and start now because
There's this thing I want to talk about, which is element of surprise.
sir,
Now, the knowledge we are taking from you now,
when it comes to elements,
the knowledge we are getting here now,
Mhm.
get to keep us so that if I buy a piece of land from what she's saying that's less than 40 plus, and a client asks me, can I be able to have schools within, I can be able to explain to them.
when
You
you
will not get schools within,
yes,
but within a certain distance, you can send them.
so the truth is this. Look at where I was going to. My answer to all these questions was going to now. Somebody asked me, is there school there now? That was what I was responding to. When it comes to propose, when it comes to propose, all these things are in place already now. Of course, we are not agent of darkness. We are considering people that are living there now. But when it comes to propose, like is there a hospital? That's what I'm saying. There are even business people that are even coming to do those things but on their own because they need money. So I'm just saying now. Now look at Of course, there will be school. Now, when it comes to some of our estate, now, like Cynthia explained, like the phase one in Enugu, no much plots there. There's still land in the neighborhood. People are building. So there is, like I told you, there's only plaza there. So with time now, you still see school or any other thing you're looking for. But I felt you're talking about now inside our estate. Of course, there will be provision for those things. There will be provision. Definitely there will be provision.
There is no provision
For the real estate, there is no provision.
For the real estate, the things will come there, people will provide that provision. Plus, you will come there, you will need school. Do you know you will get
For
school?
neighborhood, things
So
like
when you
that.
come to a place where there's no toilet, I will.
Once you walk into our estate, once you walk into once you walk into our estate gate, for instance in phase 2, except tomorrow there's an agreement and somebody is saying, I'm not even sure it will happen. Because even me, I will not like it. Everybody buying here is buying for residential to have peace. And then tomorrow, like just like my neighborhood now, tomorrow you're saying drums. That's noise. There's an area for that. Imagine.
You can't even sleep down the night.
Imagine. Bar in the night.
That's why you don't need to have some such thing around.
So all these things. So when it comes to the provision, definitely.
we are all Christians now, but if you are living close to church, you can lie to you.
That one the worst pass. So that's true.
There is a school opposite my house now. It's frustrating in the afternoon. You are just praying for them, not meeting people, so that my mother will sleep.
I said me.
Don't know that there
It's
exists.
a private school. So
Don't
that's why I'm
They
saying
have
you should
places where they just
Yes.
talk. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be
So that if you go to estate, if you go to a big estate, you have schools.
All those that their lack of plans, their lack of planning.
That is why you allocate it differently.
These are fantastic estates. So there is schools.
Their lack of is lack of planning.
There is house for living here. There is school. No.
There is estate, there's commercial, that means there's no resident. They're just commercial.
Commercial means it's just
for business.
Except
you can bear it.
residential estates.
It's just not anybody wants to get that money. Some people need quite
They
a
are not
lot of
close. They are different because if you stay close to all these things you are looking for, you will not like it too. Because me, I'm staying close to one now. I'm not enjoying any of them.
That one is
And now, look at now, a lot of people don't even go to schools or churches close to their house.
You know why those things are Africa? Yeah, because it is not regulated. These are an estate.
You can't regulate, you can't.
People are staying
These
here.
are an estate now.
Somebody is living
These
here.
are town. These are town.
People are
yes,
living here.
even this one, yes.
No, people are living here.
It's mixed. It's not an estate.
You know that
It's not an
there was
estate.
massive
It's just like a town.
there was massive
Yes,
demolition in
when we
Abuja.
say estate, we're looking at it now.
Is you know,
What is not
it's
estate?
because
What
they
they are
compromise the standard.
In estate, there will be regulation and
You
security.
understand?
Like here, we can't regulate here.
The
It's
thing
not
that
an
this
estate.
place
It's
is
a
for
town. It's a town.
Good.
is for
It's for
commercial.
commercial.
People will use it for
You understand?
residential.
You don't
People will
regulate
use it for
commercial.
different.
That's why
things.
human they can't
Now,
you can't do that.
Abuja has
You
very
cannot
much
regulate it.
estate.
So
It's
only in
only
estate.
estate to have regulation.
In estate, you have rules and regulations.
that was why there will be
Okay.
massive demolition.
This is what we're talking about here now. Now, all these things now.
You know,
No.
I can come here and buy this place
Mm-hmm.
and turn it to estate. If I don't want to
Now,
business.
if you want to turn it to an estate, then you will bring into a new set of rules where people will abide by it.
Definitely, of
That is
course.
what it is.
The thing is, see,
Yes.
all these things we are saying, all these things we are saying, these are the things the MD must have looked at for and said, no. When it comes to Vatican Garden Estate, we want it private and residential. If you are coming back home, come back home. If you want to go to work, go out and go to work. So that's why I was trying to answer that in our estate, there's no provision for any school, mostly in phase 1 in Enugu. But you cannot tell me you will not go out the next neighborhood and not see school. You get? There's one estate in that neighborhood that I forgot the name of that estate. That people, they have massive land. So, and even City itself, City as a whole, has a massive space for school.
Not only because of this one, it has a concept.
Mm.
It has its own concept.
So,
But when all these noise are there, it's no man.
of course, it's not on estate. So you see, let's also say, let me say this. Most places are called estates now, just because of the name they gave it to, not because it was an estate. Because some of them are just land people are buying individually, and then that came together. So okay, let us do this thing and call it estate and put gate. Doesn't mean that because estate is planned, very planned. You understand? So that's why. Just like that school stuff, I have a school in my house where I'm living. Like, oh my God, just one fence. This is my house. If they start their drums in the morning, like most times I get it, it's so peaceless when they are around. The noise alone is not here. So, no, sir. You're not understanding us. You're not understanding us. What we are saying now doesn't mean there will not be school in some estate, in an estate. But then that every estate has planning. If you want to put school in a good estate, that the modern estate you have now, you can't put it beside an residential building. That's why every estate you see now. Yes, now, for instance, now, once you enter a very organized estate, the first gate you will enter is commercial. That's why you see hotel. Yeah.
If you buy
A land.
get this one for commercial.
Of course, C plus, like Cynthia explained now for this phase one. It's phase one at Sabana that has it. Don't worry, you have a meeting with the MD now.
Let me tell you, when you have 60 plus to sell or 40 plus, in Vatican they have 500 plus to sell. That is why they have more than sales. That's why they are doing that.
I understand it. I understand it. Yes. That's what I'm saying. The vision of C-Plat is different. Vision of C-Plat. C-Plat wants to have a private estate. It's very secured, very cool. But what I'm trying to say that C-Plat is not also stupid to think about and consider you. Because C-Plat already knows that in the neighborhood, there are the things you need is there. You understand? It's not as if we went to one kind bush and just stay there alone. And so you have to draft furniture before you go to school. That's the thing. So that's where I'm going to. But once you enter inside our estate, like Enugu phase 1 now, we don't have that plan. Like she said, the limited, because I've asked the MD, he will tell me that I don't want too much kind of land. Once I get 60 plots, I'm good to go. Let me sell that one. Pay my money. Develop it. That's what he told me. He said, I want to develop it. Once I pay and develop, then we can talk about phase 2. So it's not about gathering 500 plots. Everywhere is bushy.
Because somehow it doesn't have that commercial aspect.
Yes. Because naturally, if you want to do commercial, you have to get more plots then. Let's say you have 40 for commercial, 60 for residential. That's the plan.
I don't understand why Vatican will hardly have commercial laws. So let us move into other things. Our estates are small estates.
Our time is up.
And I love it that way. I prefer go and check companies that have big estates.
They don't develop it.
They will run into trouble with people. They will call you out on Instagram in the next 5 years. No one have even suffered the revolution plus. They were called out. They are brand ambassadors. We are mad at them. P1, people are the next. You don't develop any estate. People that are buying it abroad have bought it 5 years ago. Some of them will soon come back and watch the and they don't have it. No way. I am telling you, I enjoy companies that have little
That place, I went there, I was shocked.
It's the company I'm telling you I want.
One company she was mentioning. I went there, I was shocked.
If you see what one man has built there, when you carry client and come, that's what I told you that it's almost sold out. We are even begging the clients to understand you, and the man have only two. You'll be happy. And he gives allocation. If you buy today, he give you allocation tomorrow. Not when you can pack 50.
That's
Client
it.
will not give you referral if there is no allocation. They will never. When you call them on the phone, the first thing they will shout is,
So when it comes to C plat, once you pay money, your allocation is there. Nobody, even when you are telling you, go and build.
"It's not neighbor." It's people that will
Go and
sustain
build.
that business.
You understand? So that I've said it in sometimes ago that it's not about making noise. You are running as a company. When the wahala will come, can you hold it? It's not about selling. What's the plan for the selling? What's the plan for the selling? So that's why CPAT prefers we'll take this one, we'll sell, we'll develop, and move to another one.
I just pay for the client. So when you have another video, but then they look at this one.
Yes, that's exactly.
The next good news for you hear now, you see, is that we have another estate in Ascension.
Don't worry, that one will come up. That one will come up. So for instance, when we went to the first Enugu, the one at Enugu Phase 2, this year or last year, when I saw the whole environment, very massive and very big, I told the MD, I felt he was going to take everything. I told him, okay, so this is everything. He said, no, we are dividing our own from here. I said, why? He said, I want to take this number. That's what he told me. Because I told him, my answer, this is the whole thing, just take them because they have cleared everything that time. I said, just take. He said, no, we'll divide here and take this one. Let another person come and take this one. I say, the one we can handle and manage. Because that's the main thing. We'll do it in a good.
Okay, so let's just say the conclusion. The whole conclusion of this class now is for every one of us to be armed with the facts, to stay prepared. So when clients come up with objections, you have what to say. And from all that has been said right now is you enable the client see the big picture. Yes. That's what all the questions are all about. Let them know and see the big picture of every single plan that they have. So that is it. That's all for today. I'm sure. Does anybody have another question to ask before we wrap up? All right. In the absence of that, we want to appreciate everyone for coming around today. And then we believe that today has been an impactful one. So just keep on following, keep on pushing, and then we know that God shall reward all our efforts in Jesus' name. Amen. And so now, thank you very much. So quick announcement. There's going to be a suspension of the sale of our bungalows. So all marketing on that is going to be halted till further notice. So on the bungalows, we are suspending it. Yes, on the bungalows, we are suspending every marketing on that for now. For now, yes. Another announcement will be made on the group as well, but this one is just prior notice. So till further notice, we will let everyone know when we can start marketing it. Thank you all. God bless you. Yes. It was way built. It was way built from Enugu as at yesterday, so we should be expecting it by Monday. Maybe tomorrow I should go and pick it up. So by next week it should be ready.